Hi guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I will be doing another which one is better, and I actually have done this 2 other times already on my channel, and I have done that actually with These Violent Delights, where I talked about 2 books that had the same title and I chose which one was better out of those. And then I did a which one is better with the Maidens versus the Silent Patient. And if you haven't already seen those videos, I will try and remember to link those down in my description bar. That way you guys can go ahead and check those out if you haven't already. But today I decided to go ahead and do my which one is better over Baby Teeth by Zoje and The Push by Audrain. And I decided to do it over these 2 books because I kind of feel like these are the books that shows up on those videos people do where they're like, if you like this book, then I suggest you try this book. And I actually already had these books. I've had them for a little while and I wanted to read both of them. So I decided, hey, this will be a great video. Let me go ahead and read both of them and see which one I like better. So that's what we're going to do today. So both of these are actually supposed to be adult psychological thrillers. So just like with my other 2 videos that I have, what I'll do is go ahead and give you a basic plot synopsis, and then I will actually tell you guys which one I thought was better. And then I will explain why. I will try and keep this video spoiler free. If I do happen to go into any spoilers, I will definitely let you guys know and leave somewhere on the screen that I'm going into spoilers. I shouldn't have to, but if for any reason I happen to, I would definitely let you guys know. But I do feel like with both of these books, you want to go in with as little information as possible because I think you'll get the most out of the books that way, knowing as little as possible. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I want to talk about is Baby Teeth, again by Zoje. I mentioned in the beginning that both of the books were supposed to be like these adult psychological thrillers, suspense books, but this one also leans more on the horror side. And so this book is supposed to be, not supposed to be, it is it's told from a dual perspective. So we're getting the story told through the mother's perspective of Suzette, and we're also getting the story told by her 7-year-old daughter by the name of Hannah. And so in this story, we're following both the mother and the daughter, and at the beginning of the story, we are told that Hannah is not speaking, and to our knowledge, she has never been able to speak. And the story opens up with Suzette taking her daughter to the doctor to figure out why exactly she is not speaking. And they actually have determined that there's actually nothing wrong with her and she should be able to speak. And it's not a matter of she can't speak, it's more of she just won't speak. And they think that it's probably time for her to actually take her to some sort of psychologist or therapist to try and figure out what is actually going on with her daughter. So as she's trying to figure that out, we get some background into this family, and we find out that there's more to Hannah than her just not being able to speak. And we find out that she and her mother have this tumultuous relationship, and to her father, Alex, Hannah seems like this perfect little girl, besides she can't speak. But to Suzette, she is driving Suzette absolutely insane. She is like the spawn of Satan. She is doing all of these terrible things, and they are just going back and forth with each other. Suzette is actually homeschooling Hannah because Hannah has done so many things to get, mind you, this girl is 7 years old, but Hannah has done so many things to get herself kicked out of school because she doesn't want to be there and she only wants to stay home and be loved on by her father. And the girl is wild. And so she only shows this side of herself to her mother. And her mother is also having these feelings of not being able to connect with Hannah, like Hannah is able to connect with her father. So we're also seeing how Suzette is struggling with that. And so we're basically just following this family and trying to figure out the relationship between Suzette and Hannah, and then trying to figure out why Hannah is not speaking until one day she reveals to Suzette that she can speak. And the things that she says scares Suzette to death. And the story basically takes off from there. And I will leave that right there for right now. So that's pretty much the premise of Baby Teeth. So the next up, we have The Push by Audrain. And in this book, we have another family. So we have Blythe, who is married to this man named Fox. I don't know why his name is Fox, but it is. And Fox is someone who is really wanting to start this family. And Blythe is really hesitant on starting a family. She doesn't think that she's going to be a good mother. She wasn't raised, in the best situation. She didn't have the best childhood. So she is really hesitant on whether or not she wants to bring a child into this world. But she eventually gives in, and she ends up having a baby girl named Violet. And as soon as she gives birth to Violet, she realizes, I am not having the connection with Violet like I should be. And we have this situation where she is trying to form this bond with Violet that she is just not able to form. And she is just torn up inside about it because she's having all these conflicting thoughts of, I want to be able to form this bond with my child, but I also don't want my child. And we are just following her as she is having all of these conflicting feelings. And then, we're following Violet as she is growing up. And we are having this situation again where Violet is, acting out while she's in front of her mother, but she is acting like an angel in front of her father. And so our main character, Blythe, is like, man, I want to try again. I want to see, if I really am just this terrible mother. So they decide to have another child, and she ends up having this son. And she realizes right away that as soon as she has her son, that she is able to form this bond with her son and still not able to connect with her daughter. So we are following this family as she is trying to navigate her relationships between her son, her daughter, and her husband. And the story basically just takes off from there. As of right now, that is all I'm going to say about this story. So out of The Push and Baby Teeth, the one that I would have to say that I liked out of both of these would be The Push. I ended up rating The Push 4 stars. I ended up rating Baby Teeth 2. Let's talk about it. We'll go ahead and talk about Baby Teeth first. So, in Baby Teeth, like I said, this is supposed to be more of a horror story. Well, one of my biggest things that I did not like about this story was I feel like as far as the horror aspects of this story, I just felt like it didn't fully commit to the horror aspects of this. I feel like in the beginning, it really kind of started to go down that road. And like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to talk about where it was trying to go, because I feel like if I say it, then there would be no point for you to read it. So I'm not going to talk about what horror elements there were, but I just feel like it just didn't commit like I wanted it to. And the things that Hannah, the 7-year-old child, was doing to Suzette after a while, they just kind of seemed silly. It seemed like they were trying to paint her out to be like this evil, manipulative child. And it just seemed like after a while, it was like, girl, if you just don't discipline your child and keep it moving, like, she should not be getting away with some of the things that she is getting away with. Like, I don't understand. It just seemed so silly after a while. And then towards the end, I thought this author was going to bring it back up, and I thought she was going to try it again with the horror, and it was going to go up a notch, and she was going to bring it back. And I was like, oh, we're going to come back with the horror, and it just fell flat for me. And it just got a little boring. It got repetitive, and I just didn't connect with it. I did listen to this on audio. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I just felt like this story had so much potential and it was wasted. Another thing that was really annoying about this story, and I felt like the story just beat us over the head with it, was that the mother, Suzette, was suffering with Crohn's disease. And I believe Crohn's disease is when you are having issues with like your intestines, and I believe you can't really control like your bowel movements. And there was a reason why it was brought up in the beginning, there was a reason. But I just felt like the author continued to beat us over the head with the whole topic of the Crohn's disease, and we didn't need it. We didn't need it at all. We didn't need to keep talking about it. And it just was like, we're talking about it again. And it was like, that was the only thing that Suzette talked about in this story. And that was like the only thing, I guess, to her personality, or that was like the only thing to her storyline about herself, was her Crohn's disease. And it just, like, her only backstory was her disease. And it was so repetitive. It was so boring. I would have rather just kept hearing from her evil daughter. And even her daughter wasn't so evil. I would have rather heard from her naive husband, Alex. He was dumb. Nope. No. This just was not it for me. It was not horror. It was not thrilling. It wasn't even suspenseful. I think in the first, like, maybe first third of the book, it grabbed me in, but it let me go after that. So no. But then we have the push. And like I said, I gave this 4 stars. Now I'm going to be very honest with you. This was not a 4-star book when I first read it. When I picked this up, I know a lot of people, reviews that I read, had raved about this book, and I didn't think that I was going to connect with it, because I kind of feel like a lot of people that raved about it are actually mothers, and I am not. And so they were able to really connect with this story. And so I was like, maybe I'm not going to like it because I can't personally connect with this story. But as I kept reading, and towards the end, I really felt for our main character. And I don't think you actually have to be a mother to connect with this story. And so I think this story was really unique in the way that it was told. With that being said, I'm not sure if everybody's going to like the way that this story is told. And a big part of that is because it is told in second person. So it is told with her speaking as if she is talking to her husband, Fox. So it's a lot of, you know, you were doing this and you were doing that. And then, you know, it's a lot of you. So if you don't like second person, I'm not sure you are going to like this. But I do like the fact that we do get snippets of the story. We get snippets of her mother's past and her grandmother's past. So was that 3 generations? So her mother, and her grandmother. And so you kind of get the background of why Blythe is the way that she is when it comes to why she doesn't really want to have children. And it makes sense for this story. As far as the relationship between her and Violet, her daughter, goes, it just makes so much sense, and it just makes the story so much more real. And how I said the things that Hannah was doing in Baby Teeth, and how I said the stuff that she was doing just felt so silly, the things that Violet was doing in this book felt real. The stuff that she was putting her mama through, and the things that demon child in this book was doing, that was not silly. That was some real stuff. And I felt like in Baby Teeth, it was so many things that the author was just trying to point out to us that Hannah was doing throughout the story. And we didn't get like so many situations in the push. It was just kind of, we were slowly, and this book is short. For it to be so short, I feel like it did stretch over a long period of time. But we were slowly, you know, following Violet as she was growing up. I think until she was like, I think it was like 12 or 13. And it's just the things that she was doing was serious. And the relationship between her and her mother was serious. And I will say, between both of the fathers, so Fox in this story and Alex in that story, the fathers, I don't get it. And like these stories, I just don't understand why, if a mother is telling you that their child is acting a certain way, why these fathers don't believe it. Especially if you know these mothers are with these children all the time. Why won't you believe them when they are telling you that something is not right? I don't get it. It happens in movies all the time. For the life of me, I don't get it. That is so annoying. I don't get it. Now, the fathers didn't have anything to do with my ratings, but the fathers in both of these stories really annoyed me. The father in this one really annoyed me. And if you read this story, you know he annoyed me. Really. By the end of this book, you didn't have a choice but to sympathize with Blythe. Even though some of the choices, some of the decisions that she was making throughout this story were off the walls, off the charts, and you were like, why are you doing that? Just why? And then you just didn't have any choice but just sympathize with her because of everything that she was going through. You just felt sorry for her at the end. And then she just, you know, poor Blythe, you know, this is a really good book. The reason why I ended up still only giving it 4 stars was just because it did take me a little while to get into it. It took me it took me a little more than halfway to get into this book because I wasn't connecting with it, like I said, and I don't want to say I didn't like it. I just kind of felt like I was just going through with emotions, and then I hit a certain point in this book and then I could not put it down. So I would highly suggest reading this book. And all those videos that I saw where people were like, if you like this one, read this one. I 100% agree. So I'm going to say it here. If you liked Baby Teeth, read this one. If you did not like Baby Teeth, like me, then I suggest you read this one. So that is actually all that I have for you guys today. I actually have another Which One Is Better scheduled for October, which I'm really excited about because the books that I have planned for that one, I have been sitting on for a little while because I've been waiting for October to read them. And then I actually have another one scheduled for November, which I have been sitting on those too. And then possible for December. So if you guys enjoy these, please let me know. And if you have any suggestions for more that I should do or some that you would like to see, also please let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. And please let me know if you guys have read these books. Let me know which one you guys like. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.